sorry if this kind of is something you haven't thought a whole lot about yet, but being a senior and having the opportunity to possibly come back next year, can you walk me through how you'll approach that whole situation whenever the time comes to think about what you're going to do?
Yeah. So obviously that's a huge decision. I've put a lot of thought into it actually, and I do kind of have my mind made up, but I don't really think this is the place to discuss it right now. But the process was, a lot of consulting, people that I trusted, a lot of talking to my family, talking to coaches, doing a little bit of praying, trying to figure out, what was the right path, or what will be the right path moving forward.
How much have you and the other seniors on the team kind of talked about that this season? Has that been a common discussion, given that it's just so new?
Yeah. I mean, I think it comes up pretty much every day.
No.
Talking about that. I mean, it's just such a different situation. You don't. It's kind of unprecedented. Never really happened before. So we discuss it, quite often, I think.
And does that make you approach senior day any differently, knowing that maybe it won't be your last home game?
No, I don't think so. I try to approach every game the same. Just trying to, have a great week of preparation and following the same routine. So I wouldn't say that it really has changed any. It has changed the way that I approach this game.
Okay, and one actual football question for you. What were you guys doing in that first half to get so much penetration into Baylor's backfield?
Yeah, I think that the coaches really had a really great plan, and we were able to execute it pretty well there in the first half. That we all week we'd been talking about doing some movement, trying to get the target off the D line's back. We're gonna move around a little bit. We're gonna throw some blitzes in there. We're gonna do some stuff to really kind of mix it up front. And I think that the coaches really just had a really good plan there. And in the first half, we executed it pretty well.
All right, thanks, Drew. Good luck this week.
Thank you,
Michael.
Yeah, Drew, how would you best attribute the defensive line's ability to flourish this season as a unit?
Yeah, I think a lot of the credit goes to Coach Buddy Wyatt and Coach Tui. I think Coach Tui's put the D tackles in particular in a really good spot, and he's really been able to do a lot in terms of preparing us for the games and making sure that we know what to look for and that we're physically ready to go. I think that we've had obviously a lot of the success. It helps to have Wyatt Hubert on the D line. He attracts a lot of attention. I mean, when teams pull up the game film on Sunday, he sticks out, and so he helps us all be better. But everybody's been having a really pretty solid season. I think Eli Huggins doesn't get enough credit for the ball that he's playing. I think he's a great competitor and a great defensive tackle.
And from the game Saturday, the personal foul call that got tagged on you, did you get an on-field explanation for what all 7 officials did not see?
I never got an on-field explanation. I wasn't really, I didn't really push very hard for one. I didn't really feel it was my place. I was a little puzzled by the call, but that I left that to the coaches and to the officials.
And is there an on-field captain that the coaches have instructed you guys to be the communicator with officials, or do they leave that to the sideline?
We do have captains on the field that communicate with officials. Typically, those are like Wyatt and J-Ball, who serve as actual captains or serve as team captains. And Eli Sullivan would be one of those as well.
Thanks, Drew.
Thank you.
Ryan.
Hey, Drew, there's been multiple times in the past month that when he's met with the media, Joe Klanderman said that he wouldn't trade you for another defensive lineman in the Big 12. How much does that mean to you when you hear, your defensive coordinator repeatedly telling people that publicly? not just hearing it. Like, I know it's one thing to hear it in team meetings or things like that, but actually have him go out and publicly state this to the world multiple times.
I mean, it's really, really humbling, to have that said about you. I really appreciate, Coach Kleinerman and everything he's done and everything he's said about me. But I really, I appreciate the, the praise, but I think it should be spread around too. I think Eli Huggins is playing great football. I think Jalen Pickle and D. Hens have showed up when we needed them to. Obviously Wyatt and Khalid and Bronson and Kamari too. I think it's been a whole unit, effort or a whole position effort, and I think it should be spread around. I think everybody's been playing really good football up front.
And for yourself, I mean, did you always see yourself being able to kind of have this kind of season, or have you even surprised yourself at times with how well you've played?
Yeah, I think I've probably surprised myself a little bit. I've always felt that I'm, capable of doing more. And I still think that I'm not playing as well as I could. I still think that there's room to grow and get better. But yeah, it's been a real honor, this season's been a real blessing.